Jai Hind, dear students of class 11th, Geography Optional. Today I am going to discuss first the biogeochemical cycle. You know that sun is the basic source of energy on all life depends, on which all life depends. You know that the primary source of energy on the earth is the sun. This energy initiates life processes in the biosphere through photosynthesis, the main source of food and energy for green plants. During photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is converted into organic compound and oxygen. Out of the total solar insolation that reaches the Earth's surface, only a very small fraction, 0.1%, is fixed in photosynthesis. More than half is used for plant respiration and remaining part is temporarily stored or is shifted to other portions of the plants. Life on earth consists of a great variety of living organisms. Yes, there are various types of organisms found on the earth's surface. These living organisms exist and survive in a diversity of association. All they are diverse, but having associations too. Such survival involves the presence of systematic flows such as flow of energy. We have discussed already yesterday. Water and other nutrients. These flows shows variation in different parts of the world, in different seasons of the year, and underlying local circumstances. Studies have shown that for the last 1 billion years, the atmosphere and hydrosphere have been composed of approximately the same balance of chemical components. पूरे 1 बिलियन में जो उसका कंपोजिशन है सेम दिख रहा है. The cycle starts by absorbing the chemical elements by organism and is returned to the air, water and soil through decomposition. These cycles are largely energized by solar insolation. It means incoming solar energy. These cyclic movements, chemical elements of the biosphere between organisms and the environment are referred to as biogeochemical cycles. Bio refers to living organism and geo to rocks, soil, air and water of the earth. So here you can see that this cycle is largely energized by solar insolation, sun energy, and the cyclic movement of chemical elements of biosphere between organisms and the environment. It's referred as biogeochemical. Bio refers means the living organisms, geo means to rocks and soil, air, water of the earth. There are two types of biogeochemical cycles, the gaseous and the sedimentary cycles. The new term for you. The gaseous, bio refers, now it is clear that bio refers to living organism, and there are two types of biogeochemical cycles. First the gaseous and second the sedimentary. In the gaseous cycle, the main reservoir of nutrients is the atmosphere. Atmosphere से जो nutrients प्राप्त होता है gaseous cycle के through, and the oceans. In the sedimentary cycle, the main reservoir is the soil and the sedimentary and other rocks of the earth's surface or the earth crust. So commonly known as biogeochemical cycles. Next cycle we are going to discuss is the water cycle. It is very simple. We have studied for a number of times the hydrological or the water cycle. All living organisms, the atmosphere and the lithosphere maintain between them circulation of water in solid, liquid and gaseous form, referred to as water or hydrological cycle. We have discussed all these in lesson 13. So the next cycle I am going to discuss today, the carbon cycle. Carbon is one of the basic elements of all living organisms. It forms the basic constituent of all the organic compounds. It forms the basic constituent. जो बेसिक कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट है हर एक ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड के लिए ये इसको बनाते हैं. The biosphere contains over 500,000 carbon compounds in them. The carbon cycle is mainly the conversion of carbon dioxide. This conversion is initiated by fixation of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through photosynthesis. शुरुआत में बताया था बायोजियोकेमिकल साइकिल में. Such conversion results in production of carbohydrate, glucose that may be converted to other organic compounds such as sucrose, starch, cellulose, etc. Hence, here you can say some of the carbohydrates utilized directly by plant itself. During this process, more carbon dioxide is generated and is released through its leaves or roots during the day. The remaining carbohydrates not being utilized by the plants become part of the plant tissue. Plant tissues are either being eaten by the herbivores, animal, or get decomposed by microorganisms. The herbivores convert some of the consumed carbohydrates into carbon dioxide or release into the air through respiration. जो herbivores खाते हैं प्लांट को कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज करते हैं. The microorganisms decompose the remaining carbohydrates after the animal dies. तो जानवर मर जाता है तो डिकम्पोजर्स इसको मेनली कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स क्या करते हैं फिनिश करते हैं. The carbohydrates that they are decomposed by microorganisms then get oxidized into carbon dioxide and return to the atmosphere. For this, picture is given in your book and it is the figure 15.2. You must go through this yourself. Now I am going to discuss about the oxygen cycle. Oxygen is the main byproduct of photosynthesis. It is the byproduct of photosynthesis. It is involved in the oxidation of carbohydrates with the release of energy. जब carbohydrates का oxidation होता है तो इसमें it is involved in oxidation of carbohydrates. इसमें involved होता है ये oxidation of carbohydrates with the release of energy, carbon dioxide and water. The cycling of oxygen is highly complex process. ये बहुत ही complex process है. Oxygen occurs in a number of chemical forms and combinations. Chemistry में आपको सर ने बताया होगा पहले. It combines with the nitrogen to form nitrates. नाइट्रोजन के साथ ये क्या बनाता है nitrates and with many other minerals and elements to form various oxides such as iron oxide, aluminum oxide and others. Much of the oxygen is produced from the decomposition of water molecules by sunlight. Water molecules का decomposition होता है sunlight से, गर्मी से, इससे बहुत सारा ऑक्सीजन उत्सर्जित होता है during the photosynthesis and is released in the atmosphere through transpiration and respiration process of the plants. और वापस एटमॉस्फेयर में कैसे आ जाता है through transpiration and respiration processes of the plants. Another cycle is the nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is a major constituent of the atmosphere comprising about 79% of atmospheric gases. सबसे ज्यादा जो गैस environment में मिलती है कौन सी है नाइट्रोजन 79%. It is also an essential constituent of different organic compounds such as amino acid, nucleic acid, protein, vitamins, pigments. तो ये जो एमिनो एसिड है, न्यूक्लिक एसिड है, प्रोटीन, विटामिन सब इस पे आधारित होते हैं. Only a few type of organisms like certain species of soil bacteria and blue-green algae are capable of utilizing it directly in its gaseous form. इसको डायरेक्टली यूटिलाइज करने के लिए कुछ सॉइल बैक्टीरिया और ब्लू ग्रीन एल्गी जो है वो कैपेबल है इसको डायरेक्टली यूटिलाइज करने के लिए गैसेस फॉर्म में. जनरली नाइट्रोजन इज यूजेबल बाय आफ्टर इट इज फिक्स्ड. 90% of fixed nitrogen is biological. The principal source of free nitrogen is the action of soil microorganisms and associated plant roots of atmospheric nitrogen found in the pore spaces of the soil. Nitrogen can also be fixed in the atmosphere by lightning and कॉस्मिक रेडिएशन, नाइट्रोजन और कॉस्मिक रेडिएशन से भी फैलता है. इन द ओशंस सम मरीन एनिमल्स कैन फिक्स इट, कुछ समुद्री जानवर भी इसको फिक्स कर सकते हैं. आफ्टर एटमॉस्फेरिक नाइट्रोजन हैज बीन फिक्स्ड इनटू अवेलेबल फॉर्म, ग्रीन प्लांट्स कैन एसिमुलेट इट. तो ग्रीन प्लांट्स इसको अपने आप में एसिमुलेट करते हैं. हर्बीवोर्स एनिमल्स फीडिंग ऑन प्लांट्स इन टर्न कंज्यूम सम ऑफ इट. फिर जो हर्बीवोर एनिमल्स हैं, घास खाने वाले जानवर, प्लांट खाने वाले जानवर, उसको कुछ मात्रा में कंज्यूम कर लेते हैं. डेड प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स. फिर excretion of nitrogenous waste are converted into nitrites by the action of bacteria present in the soil. जब excretion होता है, बाहर निकलता है, तो ये नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट कन्वर्टेड होते हैं किसमें? नाइट्रिट्स में, by the action of bacteria present in soil. Some bacteria can even convert nitrates into nitrates that can be used again by green plant. There are still other types of bacteria capable of converting nitrates into free nitrogen. A process is known as denitrification. Denitrification is a process. In this, atmospheric nitrogen is fixed through atmospheric fixation, biological fixation, industrial fixation, and all these together denitrification through nitrates compounds. It's called as nitrogen cycle. Other mineral cycles is also there. Other than carbon, oxygen, nitrogen and hydrogen cycles, being the principal geochemical components of the biosphere, many other minerals also occur as critical nutrients for plant and animal life. Know that we require lot of minerals. Other our intake of mineral is very less, only 0.3% we are using, but they are much needed for digestion of all the food stuff we are eating. These mineral elements required by living organisms for survival. As I have said you, only 0.3% minerals we are consuming with the food, and they are essential for digesting all these food stuff we are eating. These mineral elements as required by organism are obtained by initially from inorganic sources such as phosphorus, sulfur, calcium and potassium. They usually occur as salts dissolved in soil, water or lakes, streams and seas. So mineral salts come directly from earth crust by weathering, where the soluble salt enter the water cycle, eventually reaching the sea. Other salts are returned to the earth's surface through sedimentation, and after weathering they again enter the cycle. तो ये जो salt है रिलीज होता है, फिर से उस साइकिल में चला जाता है. All living organisms fulfill their mineral requirements from mineral solutions in their environments. Other animals receive their mineral needs from the plants and animals they consume. बहुत सारे जानवर, प्लांट और एनिमल्स उनको सॉल्ट प्राप्ति हो जाती है. After the death of living organisms, the minerals are returned to the soil and watered through decomposition and flow. और फिर से वापस सॉइल में मिल जाता है. इसको हम लोग अदर मिनरल साइकिल्स बोलते हैं. The last topic we have to discuss in the lesson is the ecological balance. In simple word, what is ecological balance? Do you know? The transfer of energy and matter among different components of an ecosystem is known as ecological balance. Given to your book, ecological balance is the state of dynamic equilibrium. The word equilibrium means a complete balance within a community of organisms in a habitat or ecosystem. So equilibrium, simply said, equilibrium in transfer of energy and matter among different components of an ecosystem. You can say it is called ecological balance. It can happen when the diversity of living organisms remains relatively stable. Gradual changes do take place, but that happens only through natural succession. It can also be explained as a stable balance in the numbers of each species in an ecosystem. We know that each and every species has a role to play to maintain the balance of this ecosystem. This occurs through competition and cooperation between different organisms where population remains stable. This balance is brought about by the fact that certain species compete with one another determined by the environment in which they grow. They are given this balance is brought about by the fact. What is the fact? Certain species compete with one another. एक स्पेसीज दूसरे के साथ compete कर रही है. कैसे कर रही है? Determined कैसे हो रही है? By the environment जहां वो grow कर रहा है. This balance is also attained by the fact that some species depend on others for their food. It is very right. And sustenance means the survival. अपने सर्वाइवल के लिए एक स्पेसीज दूसरे पे डिपेंड करती है. Such accounts are encountered in vast grasslands where the vast grassland we are talking about, where the herbivores animals like deer, zebra, buffaloes are found in plenty. बहुत भारी संख्या में, जैसे सवाना ग्रासलैंड. सवाना itself is a biome. सवाना ग्रासलैंड में झुंड में बड़े बड़े झुंड में जेब्रा, डियर, बफेलो दिखते हैं. On the other hand, the carnivore animals, tigers, lions. Tigers are confined to mainly Asia, India and Nepal. In Africa, tigers are not found, but lions are there in Africa. India is the only country in the world having both the tiger and lion population found naturally. Gir is the last remaining habitat for Asiatic lion. You know about this fact? So given here, on the other hand, the carnivorous animals, tigers and lions, that they are not usually in large numbers. It is very right. Here you can imagine one balance gifted by nature to us. Herbivores are more in number. So to control over their population, nature has gifted these carnivores. The reproduction in herbivores is more than the carnivores, like lions. तो नेचर में डियर्स बहुत ज्यादा हैं, बफेलोज बहुत ज्यादा हैं. अगर उनकी संख्या लगातार बढ़ती ही रही, उस पर कोई नेचुरल कंट्रोल नहीं हुआ, तो पूरे के पूरे प्लांट लाइफ को ही खत्म कर देंगे. तो उनके पॉपुलेशन कंट्रोल करने के लिए गॉड हैज गिफ्टेड व्हाट? टाइगर एंड लायंस, लेपर्ड्स एटसेट्रा. दीज आर हंटिंग देम एंड किलिंग एंड यूजिंग टू ईट देयर फ्लेश. तो इसके ऊपर पलने वाले कार्निवोर्स हैं. अब कार्निवोर्स का रिप्रोडक्शन रेट कम होता है, बहुत कम पाए जाते हैं. You can see in savanna grassland, herds of bisons, herds of tigers, wildebeest are found over there. They are more in number, and on these lions are feed, cheetah and leopards and other carnivores like crocodiles, etc. All they are feed. So there is a natural balance. Carnivore संख्या में कम है और इनका रिप्रोडक्शन भी कम है, तो ये हर्बीवोर्स के पॉपुलेशन को बहुत अधिक बढ़ने से रोकते हैं, कंट्रोल करते हैं. तो अगर मानो ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी के थ्रू अगर हम लोग किसी एक पार्ट को डिस्टर्ब करें, if you are killing all these carnivores, herbivores will more in number will entire graze the forest. तो herbivore अगर बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएंगे तो पूरे फॉरेस्ट को ग्रेज कर जाएंगे. On the other hand, if you are killing the herbivores, carnivores will die itself. उनके लिए खाना ही नहीं बचेगा. So there is a natural balance. So given to you your book that the carnivorous animals like tiger, lions, etc. that are not usually in large numbers hunt and feed on the herbivores, thereby controlling their population. In the plants, thereby controlling their population in the plants, any disturbance in the native forest, such as clearing the forest for shifting cultivation, usually brings about a change in the species distribution. This change is due to competition where the secondary forest species such as grasses, bamboos or pines overtakes the native species, changing original forest structure. This is called succession. Ecological balance may be distributed due to introduction of new species, natural hazards and human causes. इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो सकता है क्यों? इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ न्यू स्पेसीज, नेचुरल हैजार्ड से और ह्यूमन एक्टिविटीज से. Human interference has affected the balance of plant communities, leading to disturbances in ecosystem. Due to excess hunting and killing, many species are now at the verge of extinction called endangered species. We have lost many plant species also due to excessive use. So we are disturbing, we humans, our activity, that is the overutilization of resources from forest, has resulted in extinction of many species also. So given further, such disturbances bring about numerous secondary succession. Human pressure on the Earth's resources has put a heavy toll on the ecosystem. Human pressure on the Earth resources. We have to survive on the Earth. हम लोगों को survive करना ही Earth पे. We need to utilize resources, but overuse of resources has created or done by the human being has resulted in environmental degradation. This has destroyed its originality and has caused adverse effect to the general environment. Ecological imbalances have brought many natural calamities like floods. बहुत सारे पेड़ों की कटाई हो गई, जंगल क्लियर कर दिया गया, उसकी वजह से फ्लड्स आ रहा है. Landslides become more faster, more regular. They are in mountainous region due to deforestation. लैंडस्लाइड बहुत ज्यादा होने लगा हिमालयन रीजन में. डिजीजेस स्प्रेड हो रही हैं. इरेटिक क्लाइमेटिक ऑकरेंस हो रहा है, कभी बारिश बहुत ज्यादा तो कभी बहुत कम हो रही है. इरेटिक, दैट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू प्रेडिक्ट. तो इस तरह की क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन क्यों हो रही है? बिकॉज ऑफ डिफॉरेस्टेशन. देयर इज अ वेरी क्लोज रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द प्लांट एंड एनिमल कम्युनिटीज विद इन द पर्टिकुलर हैबिटेट. किसी भी एक हैबिटेट में प्लांट कम्युनिटी और एनिमल कम्युनिटी, इसमें एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट, बहुत ही क्लोज कर रहे हैं, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट होता है ये रिलेशनशिप है. और डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ लाइफ इन दिस पर्टिकुलर एरिया कैन बी एम्प्लॉयड as an indicator to habitat factor. Proper knowledge and understanding of such factors provide a strong base of protecting and conserving the ecosystems. तो मनुष्य जो कि एकमात्र ऐसा प्राणी है जो सोच सकता है, can think, who can create, who can modify the natural environment according to wish, he is also responsible for this type of imbalances which are seen nowadays in the environment. All these balances can be restored by the human beings. This all for the lesson. Thank you. Have a nice day.